Now, Ubisoft decided to announce a brand new Assassin's Creed game called Assassin's Creed Rogue, which will be coming out for the PS3 and 360 in November. Now, I'd like to ask you guys, I have some personal thoughts on this game. I'm going to save that until after I hear what you guys say, but I would like to ask you guys, are you interested in this game? Are you planning on picking it up? Or do you think this game is just a throwaway game?
Well, from what I haven't read about the game fully, but from what I've seen and the headlines I've seen and stuff, it seems like it's pretty much like following on from, well, I don't know if it's following on from, but it's pretty much based in the same sort of setting as Black Flag, like you have a pirate ship or something, if I'm correct. So
well, actually, it's taking a little bit from 3 and 4 because Hatham, who was in Assassin's Creed 3, is in this game. It's about an assassin who ends up hunting other assassins. Going through that transformation. So it plays with some of the themes that are also in Assassin's Creed 4.
okay.
It's like trying to do the best of both worlds, but the main thing they're selling is the shipping because, of course, the ship element was a big deal in the most recent games. Plus, this is a single-player only game. There is no multiplayer in it at all.
Well, I don't feel like they need multiplayer anyway. But yeah, I mean, I do give Ubisoft credit for, because Unity is a full-on next-gen game, and I respect that. But it's also cool that they're, catering to people on last-gen as well. So they still get an Assassin's Creed game. It's just not going to be what Unity is, It's not going to be to that level of quality. But, I mean, me personally, I'm probably going to skip over that one. Probably going to skip over Assassin's Creed Rogue.
And it's strange that people are worrying about like how big of a title it is. So far, I'm more interested in the story that they presented in its trailer than I am in what Unity has offered so far.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because like having an assassin that was betrayed by the Brotherhood that becomes a Templar to attack other assassins, I feel like that would be the next big step for a major Assassin's Creed title.
But yeah, that is a good concept.
Yeah, so me personally, I mean, of course, I haven't invested in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One yet, so I'm kind of biased as well. But I'm pretty interested in checking this game out. I think I will be buying it when it comes out, which that's saying a lot because I don't rush into the Assassin's Creed games a lot, but this one kind of drew me in with that story, that premise.
Well, you know what? I will buy this game. I'll buy this game when it's remastered for the PS4.
They're already working on it, man.
That's right. We'll get into those remasters later. I'm going to say something, but let me let you go first, Austin, because I know you had something to say.
Yeah.
What was that?
Was coming for so long, and it was one of those things where, okay, Unity, that's impressive, it looks good. I've never been huge on the French Revolution personally, and there's so much about Rogue that looks like it is, kind of a throwback to things we've seen for quite some time, but I don't know. Like icebergs, penguins in Assassin's Creed game, that gets me excited. And just the story, the idea that someone could literally go back so far on their convictions that they would begin to actively work against what they believed in and were raised by. The man could go from being an assassin to a Templar, and not like Hatham, who was kind of raised that way, but to see such a level of complete subversion of notions, it gets me excited. So yeah, I mean, I might end up picking them both up day one.
All right, Tom, you got something to say before I jump in?
Yeah, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2. I haven't really had any intention of playing an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2. They haven't really appealed to me since then. Even 2 I thought was very average, just an average open world running around across a rooftop kind of game. So no, I will not be picking up Assassin's Creed Rogue. Not at all. Not now. Not when as Gary says, the HD comes out. So.
Okay, that's good. Now, let me say this, okay? I side with you because, in my opinion, while you say Assassin's Creed 2 was average, in my opinion, that was the best one in the series. I don't care about 3. I don't care about 4. That was the one, because that was the one that drew me in. Plus, I'm a fan of the time period that they had in the game. But getting back to this game in particular, my problem with this game is on many fronts. It does feel like it's an afterthought, and I'm going to explain why that is. From a story standpoint, these developers said in the beginning they had a plan for the series as far as the stories are concerned. While I do agree that this is a better story, and it is a more appealing story than Unity or what we know of Unity so far, I want to ask, why are they not treating this on a grander scale and putting it out on all platforms right from the very beginning? Because to me, they're taking elements from 3 and 4. They already said they're going to have cast from both of those games make appearances in this game. If you're going to take that approach, I would say, well, shouldn't that be the game coming out before Unity? Well, no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you were finished.
Oh, no, I got more to say, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think they definitely do plan on. I'm not even joking. I definitely think they do plan on releasing it on PS4 and Xbox One, but they're just releasing it on last gen first, just so that they have something, so that they feel like they have something to look forward to. People who haven't bought the next gen consoles yet. But I fully believe that we will see that game come to the next gen. Maybe a few months later, maybe a year later, or I don't know. But I think it's coming.
No. See, that's the thing. I know it's coming too, but again, I have to ask the question: how important is this game to the series? Because one other point. Now, we went to E3. This game was not mentioned at all. They were heavily behind Unity. Obviously, it's the next-gen game. You're trying to sell consoles. I understand that. But if this game was a big deal, it's an important game to the story or the history of the series, you would think this would have also been front and center at E3 so it can get attention now, as opposed to it getting attention after E3. Now,
yeah, I agree. I think they should have promoted it more, at E3 and everything. But are Ubisoft going to be at Gamescom? Because I'm thinking the timing, it might mean that they're going to show it off at Gamescom. Maybe that was their plan all along.
Yes, it is going to be there. It is going to be there.
I think the thing you got to keep in mind, though, it's a transition. These are the transitional years. And I don't see, how you can really kind of show off a 7th-generation game on stage and make a huge deal out of it unless you really kind of to take a shot at Nintendo. I mean, unless you really kind of push. It's not even getting a Wii U release, so never mind. And second, the thing about, I guess, why, I think it's being done by Ubisoft Sofia, and they're the guys who worked on the Vita game, which I liked, Liberation. But in order to port a game over on all consoles, you need a massive team to essentially work on all those ports, to optimize all the games for individual systems, especially kind of since there is a parity between, there's even a parity between Xbox One and PS4, let alone that jump from a 360 to an Xbox One. And how many people are working on Unity? I don't know. I think, they're obviously going to do kind of a Unity PS4 edition, but I think just given that they're so strapped for developers to work on Unity, Far Cry 4, The Division. I think since they've got so much, because that's what Ubisoft for the most part, it's a couple thousand people, and there's not a specific. A lot of the projects rotate between people as opposed to specific teams beyond lead creative teams kind of carved out for niche projects. So I understand why it's not getting a PS4 port. Now, I'd buy both, day one. And Rich, you're right. It's a side story. I think Unity's obviously marketed as the next big installment, but I don't know. If you're going to charge me $60 or whatever the pound equivalent might be, it needs to be a $60 game. So I guess in terms of content, It's got to justify its own existence.
That's true. Very good point. Well, I do believe that, as Gary said, it will get to next-gen consoles eventually because they always do this with these games. They'll release them on multiple platforms after a certain period of time. But yeah, you're right. Hopefully it justifies it because it is coming out at a time where there's a lot of other games that will be out. Of course, Dragon Age will be out. You got Call of Duty. It's coming out after these games have already come out. So I'll be interested to see how it does in terms of the sales.